Hi, I'm Michael Scott, and we're going to show you a couple of different ways of doing cake when you're out camping, whether you have a fire or if you just have a gas stove. We're going to start with the first one that everybody seems to really like, and that's doing it with an orange. You're going to take the top 1/3 off the orange, just like that. And here's the easiest ways to take out the inside. Imagine cutting out a can. So you're going to stick the knife in there, straight up and down, and just kind of work yourself around. Just like that. And here's the secret. You got to use the spoon. Slide it in the incision and cut right down at the middle until you cut that cord. Just keep working that around and it'll pop itself right out. Oops, most of it anyway. So once you get to that part, use the side of the spoon and just start scraping. I tell people, the more pulp you leave, the more pudding-like it'll be. So if you want a moist cake, leave a lot of it in there. If you want a drier cake, take as much as possible out. And you just want to work yourself in a circle all the way around. Until it looks about like this. And we're going to do the same thing to the lid here. And there we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this cake mix and we're going to only fill it to about this full, a little over halfway. If you fill it more than that, the cake bakes out around and it ends up just burning cakes. So alright, so we got our cake mix down in there like that. We're going to put the lid back on, take out the cutting board, shiny side. Remember, cooking food likes to see itself, so shining sides of the inside. So just keep working it around, trying to make sure you keep that lid centered on there. Pull it right up into our curly Q. And then we're going to take this here, swing it right on around. Alright, and we're going to take this and put it right down in our fire, right on these coals. And we're just going to let that set, and maybe in about 15 minutes or so we'll turn it a little bit, but other than that it can sit right there. Next cake. It's very simple. We're going to use the rest of this chocolate cake mix. Oops, not quite all of it. Okay, now this one here goes into the really clever device. This is a standard roaster oven, and all I've done, you can look down in here, you'll see where I put a cake pan upside down so that it's raised my food up above the midway point. Now I can put my cake mix on here. If you also noticed, I have a little thermometer gauge that I put down in there, and it tells me when I'm a little too hot. And right now we're at 400 in there, so we're going to go ahead and lower this temperature down just a little bit. We do that simply by adjusting how much wood is under there. All right, number 3. This is a really easy one, and it's great if you're backpacking or if all you have is access to a propane stove. These are zipper freezer Ziploc bags, if I can get it right. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some of the yellow cake mix and we're going to just pour some of that down in here as well. Don't want to fill it up too full. Alright. Shake that all down the best you can. And when you seal this, just make sure you can get one finger into the end. And then we're going to take, I might have to move around here, Tim. I have here, it's a pot of just boiling water. Alright, we're just going to set this down in here. And I like to take the lid and I use that to kind of pinch that top up a little bit. Don't plug off the vent hole, but that'll hold it upright. And we just walk away and we let that go. And if all else fails and you can't find any other way of doing it, fry. You can always fry your cake mix just like you can pancake mix. And you can make some really awesome pancakes with different flavored cakes. So we'll get back to you as soon as these things have cooked a little bit. Alright, so here's our boiled cake. I'm going to show you how to check. We got a secondary one in here. Had to have a little chocolate too. So we're just going to open up our Ziploc bag, take our long splinter, run right down through the center of it. You see, there's still a little bit of liquid on that, which means that the center's not done, but we're getting there. So we can just close that right up and we'll put that right back in the boiling water for about another 10 or 15 minutes. And we'll be able to come back and have our cake. Let's go ahead and look down the fire and see what's going on. So here's one of our cakes that we put in an orange. It's been in there for about 10 or 15 minutes. We're just going to tear open the top here a little bit. I'll show you how to tell if these things are done. I always tell people if it looks like pudding, it's not done. If it looks like cake, it's done. Should have put on some gloves for this. So, this is still a little soupy on the inside. So all we're going to do is just take and close it right back up again. And we're just going to go ahead and put that back in the fire. While we're at it, let me grab something here. Let's take a look down here in our roaster oven. And as you can see, our cake's raising. Our temperature gauge says we're right at 350. We've got a little more baking to do, and then we'll come back and let you see the finished product. Okay, we're going to check this one more time here. Pull this out. Take our piece of wood again. Glove where I can handle it. As you can see, it's coming out dry. That means that this cake is done. What we can do to keep it moist and ready for whatever we're going to have our dinner is just by sealing the bag. And as you notice, this is something I really like about the cake mixes. As you can tell, it doesn't stick to the plastic, so this is just going to slide right out. We'll dust it with powdered sugar and we'll call it good. Okay, we're going to check our cake one more time. It's coming out clean, so we can go ahead and take this cake out. The thing to remember about baking this way, if you're using briquettes, is remember 25 degrees per briquette is what you should figure out. And that'll tell you how to adjust it. If you're doing biscuits, put briquettes on the top and it'll help it brown a lot faster. But since this is a chocolate cake, we're just going to go have fun and eat. So here's the last cake still inside of the orange shell. We've been baking it now for about 30 minutes. And it's plenty warm. But when you peel the top off, it should break like cake. See how it's flaky and crumbly? So this cake here is done. And don't worry, you're going to notice it gets black a little bit. That's going to end up cooking the orange zest into your cake mix. But it allows your cake to cook without actually burning. We'll just set this to the side of the fire and keep that warm till dinner. Well, now that we've gotten done with all of our cakes and a good change of clothes, we're ready for dinner, and we're going to eat this dusted in powdered sugar. So hopefully you guys all got something out of this video and eat and enjoy camping. Talk to you later.